Hello everyone, welcome to IAS by Heart. Today we are going to see how to approach the polity questions in civil services examination. So before that, a brief introduction about myself. So I am civil services faculty with 6+ years experience. I have worked with various institutes. I have experience working under the government also, and my master's is in sociology and political science. I have the experience of clearing certain government examinations. So, with all these things, with the past batches, we have decided that we will do a little analysis on what type of questions are possible and how do you differentiate the questions which you can attempt and what are the traps and tricks which are involved in the questions. Okay. So, first thing is that some different types of questions which are possible in the polity, at least for the polity I have compiled. So, immediately when you look at the question, you will get to understand whether it is from the known area or from the unknown area. So, you have read it and you are able to identify the question, then it is from the known area. You can start reading the options and then go much forward with the question. If it is from the unknown area, then keep it aside. So it depends upon how many you have attempted in the last. Are you having the time and do you want to take a chance? That is a different thing, but the total story revolves around the known area questions only. Now the next analysis you have to do is it a direct factual question or the application analysis question? So direct factual questions are little easy because you have a little bit of memory, and what is in the direct and factual will not change. So you don't need to worry too much about the traps and the tricks in the question. They will be usually directly given options, not like statements. And application analysis will be given like statement A, statement B, and then the combination of it, which are true and false, like that. So now, if it is a direct and factual, quickly you will be able to identify whether you know the answer or not. There are no magics and other things you can do. Either you know it or you don't know it. And when you come to the application analysis, you have to be more careful because this is the where the UPSC vocabulary plays a role, and then certain words, certain kind of patterns are important to observe in the old question papers. Then you will be ready to go and analyze that how this option only can be answered and what is that thing which is giving me assurance that I can go with this option only as the correct answer. That is one thing. And now the other thing which I have divided is static dynamic versus the combination questions. In the recent times in UPSC, you see more of the combination questions. 2019 question you take. So Article 21 is the static part. And the recent judgment related to the right to marriage, that was a dynamic part. So if you don't know that it was included in the Article 21 in the Hadia case, then you will not be able to answer that question. So Article 21 knowing is important. At the same time, knowing the recent judgment is important. So it's a combination between the static and dynamic part. So if it is static, then the same, direct and factual. If it is a combination question, then please be careful. Is it talking about the recent things or not? You should be able to analyze depending upon the given options. So that is one thing. And in history and polity, the keyword based questions are usually common. At least one question we expect, which is keyword or term based question, what is liberty, what is preamble, or any other words which are taken, and what is the exact meaning of it, like the judicial review. So these are already the past questions. So every time when you read the NCERTs, also check there that is it a keyword available here where the 2-marker question is worthy from this area. So that is the keyword or the term based questions possible in the UPSC. Then finally the other thing is historical event related question. So dynamic is the recent one, the historical is the old one. So the historical background acts or the making of the constitution, what happened in the Britishers' time, are we relating anything back to it? So any event or important thing which happened in the history and related to that you have anything in the constitution, so that is historic event related the question. So how do you identify is that usually the act, by directly looking at it, if the act is belonging to the before independence time, that is one key. And the other thing is making of the constitution questions are there, then that is also another key. You identify that it is historic event related question. So usually if you relate the polity with the history and how history has cooperated enough to make the constitution as it is right now, then you will be able to understand and make these questions right. So once you finish the modern history, please refer it along with all the schedules in the constitution and think that why it is like this only. If not, refer to any of the series like Samvidhan series or the other things. You will get to know that what discussions happened and why they have defined certain terms or why they have introduced these things. So then it will be easy for you to answer these kind of questions. So these are the broad divisions. Maybe another things are possible, but majorly we expect these kind of questions. So next thing is the difficulty level of the question makes it more easy for you to take a call whether you are attempting that question or not. So first thing, the easy question, then the moderate one, then the difficult one. So usually the easy question is the direct or the factual one for a senior aspirant or even for a new person also, where that you are sure enough that this is the right answer I have kept. And the moderate one is analysis and understanding, and the difficult one is where you don't even know the topic or you are unable to get surety because of 2 or 3 statements which are involved totally unrelated in that question. So this is the usual concept in polity where you identify which questions and what is the level of difficulty in that question. So the first thing is direct or easy question. So as you can see, this is a direct question. Any person who is preparing for the polity will refer the preamble. So which of the following objectives is not embodied in the preamble to the Constitution of India? So if you remember word to word also, directly you know the answer. Even if you don't remember and you go with the logical assertioning also, as if you have understood the Constitution, then directly you will get that economic liberty. Okay. So that is easy question anyway. And now the next is moderate question. As I have said, moderate questions will have statements, and in that they will try to test your understanding. So the private members bill is a bill which is presented by a member of parliament who is not elected but only nominated by the president of India. So it is asking about the private members bill. If you know the definition, then it is clear here only. If you don't know, then you are into the trap little bit. So where you try answering it. So the word only is there. Wherever the word only is there, you have to be careful. And the private member is a person who is the member of parliament, not certainly like nominated, but anybody who doesn't have a ministry can be considered as a private member. So if you know that thing, the statement becomes clear. If not also, if you don't observe the word only also, it becomes very much confusing. So that's why the more analysis questions you are going, the statement form of questions, you repeat the statements and read it once or twice and underline the important keywords in that statement, what is giving emphasis to which part of the statement. That is one thing. And then recently, a private members bill has been passed in the parliament, and it is for the first time in the history. First is the important word here. So recently means everything you cannot be sure in the recent. So obviously you will take a chance. But the keyword is first. So if you know that whether it is first or not, then only you should go for the answer. If you don't know, then you are not going to take a chance. So that's why you are calling these questions as moderate. So here the answer will be that none of them are correct, neither one or two. So if you have read this topic, it should be clear, but still you should look for the traps and the keywords in the question. So that is where analysis and the application part becomes more important rather than reading that information once or twice in the book. So if you practice more and more old question papers or the more questions, then the more answering the moderate questions becomes easy. And once you get comfortable with the moderate questions, then there is no need to worry about the polity. So now the next level, which is the difficulty. So now directly by looking at the question, you can understand why I have mentioned it as a difficult question. So you can see that the different acts are mentioned, and it is all related to the bamboo. And then even if you are perfect about one act also, you may not be perfect about the other act. So it is talking about the forest dwellers, and it may be related to the current issue, but not directly asking the current issue related to it also. So in that pattern, what happens is that you are totally in the confusion. You may want to answer it, but you are sure that you will not get the right answer. You are taking a chance. So important thing is that you should accept that there are difficult questions in the UPSC. Even if we give you all the sources also, you will not be able to get all the answers correct in the UPSC exam hall. So that is a difficulty level of the UPSC exam. So all the target is to answer the easy and the moderate questions, very very rarely you know that information, then you will take a chance on the difficult question. But usually you are going to keep yourself away from the difficult questions. Depending upon your preparation, it depends what becomes difficult question again to you. If you have like very recently referred this information, you were preparing to the essay, then it might look like a moderate question to you. But we are taking the majority and analyzing that it is a difficult question. So in that sense, you should be ready to let go of the difficult questions. Your target should be to get the moderate questions, all the keywords correct, and go more and more nearer to the answer perfect in the moderate, and easy question should be perfectly done. Usually people make more mistakes in the easy question. You don't believe me? Ask any of the senior aspirant, when the question has come, is preamble a part of the constitution or not? Most of the discussion has gone through, like people thought that why would UPSC ask like this, so then like we should take a call, and then they kept that it is not a part of constitution, like that. Or take the example of like is president the part of the parliament or not? So there also there was like the majorly very proper prepared candidates also have answered it wrong. So be careful with the easy and moderate. There itself your most of the journey to the cutoff has been made very very clear enough that you are going in the right direction. Don't panic yourself with the tough questions. Accept that you have gone for the exam only to clear the cutoff, not to get the highest marks in the prelims.